Hey guys, it's Jason, and today I want to talk about a tweet. And I know you guys might think, "Man, Jason, are you going to talk about the boxer again?" No, this one's not about the boxer. This one's actually a coin-based post, and I think it's really interesting. CoinDesk also helped do this research, and they look at the quarters. And so if you know anything about the business cycle, you have 4 quarters in a year. January, February, March are in the first quarter. December, November, October are in the fourth quarter. Basically businesses and for tax reasons and for their own evaluation purposes and for the shareholders, they break their business cycle into 4 parts every year. So what CoinDesk did in their Bitcoin report, and I'll put the stuff over here for you guys because I know you guys love the visuals, is they talk about the peak to trough percentages. And to be honest, I've never even, and I do tons of research. You guys know I'm a statistic, research fanatic. And I've never done peak to trough percentages for cryptocurrencies. I've done it for other research in political science and in economics, but never for cryptocurrencies. And so they break it down. I know you guys are watching this over here, but I'm going to kind of break it down a little bit. In the first quarter of 2014, we look at a 52% peak to trough percentage, which is, pretty high. It means the price is going up and down. Its volatility is pretty high. In the second quarter of 2015, it goes up even more to 84%. And again, a higher percent of peak to trough is never good for something like Bitcoin, because it means the price is fluctuating so much that if you buy it in the morning, there's a very high chance that by the afternoon it's a completely different price, and you either feel like you made a fortune because it went up, or you feel like you feel like scum because it went down. That's just what happens when you have a high peak to trough ratio. Now it comes back down for the third quarter of 2015 or 2014 to 42%. And then the fourth quarter of 2014, it goes down to 27%. Now, sadly, it does go back up the first quarter of 2015 to 44%. And that, I think we can really, truly evaluate the reasoning that went back up is because we were going somewhere from, a very high valuation point of about $450, $500 a coin, and it came back down to about $300. And so because of that range, even though it happened in the first quarter of I corrected myself. Happened in the fourth quarter of 2015. It bleeds over to the first quarter of 2015. And that's always bound to happen when you have such a large price, reallocation. And I know reallocation is kind of a broad term, but, Bitcoin's price kind of moves around so much. It fluctuates with such rapid, price valuation that it's strange. I mean, a lot of people, I've heard people compare Bitcoin to a penny stock. People compare Bitcoin to gold or silver or a commodity. And really, you can compare it and contrast it as much as you want. But Bitcoin is unique because while it does follow paths of likelihood with, the commodity market, the penny market, or even maybe the stock market or the bond market, it has its own hive mind from the community and from its own investment standpoint. And so just when you think you found something to compare it to and create an analysis portfolio, it goes completely wrong. It goes bonkers. But this is where it really becomes important. And of course, the last report we have is for the second quarter of 2015. And in the second quarter of 2015, we're seeing a peak to trough percentages of 20%. So, you might say, well, what's the peak to trough ratio? Is it really that important? It really differs. The peak to trough percentage matters. There's 2 parts to it, and let me break it down. The first part, you want it to go up because that means the price is going up. But the problem is when if you have a steady increase throughout the quarters, you don't have a very high peak to trough percentage, going up and down. That means your percentage would be higher. You want it lower because it means the price stays steady. Now, here's where we get into the debate that I always love entertaining so much, is the difference between people call Bitcoin a currency and some people call it a commodity. If Bitcoin is a commodity, the peak to trough percentage, don't really matter. It doesn't really matter because it's a commodity. It's something you trade for value. It's what you store value in, but you don't use it to buy things. You're not going out and using gold or silver or aluminum to buy products. You're using it as a capital investment, or you're using it as a, store of wealth. While if you're valuing it as a currency, you want that peak to trough percentage to be as low as possible. And I think because Bitcoin is being used so much right now for, in likewise as a currency, you want that peak to trough ratio to be, or percentage to be very low. There's a reason why when the USD to the European Union or the European Euro, or the Russian ruble and the USD, when those for instance, perfect example, the Russian ruble, when it moves up and down relative to that of the euro or the USD market, it becomes a problem because there's a complexity of issues, but it affects the people that are using that currency. And I talked about the issue with the oil when you're trying to sell it between Russia and China, and why they use USD even though they're two sovereign nations. If it's a currency, you want a low peak to trough percentage. If it's commodity, you still kind of want one, but it doesn't really matter as much. And so I think the problem is a lot of people love Bitcoin because it's a currency, because they can buy things with it. But they also love the fact that it goes up in value. It's kind of like a stock. It's an investment. So that's why I always make the joke that to basically entertain and then destroy the argument of whether it's a commodity or a currency, just say it's a mixture of the both. It's a modified new experimental design. It's not a currency. It's not a commodity. It's both. But people don't like that kind of explanation. That's shortcoming it. So that's where it's at. And I thought this was just really, really fascinating. I haven't seen a peak to trough percentage of the Bitcoin's price by quarterly or of any, report ever. And normally I do my own research that you don't see people doing. And this kind of interested me. And I thought, well, if it's piquing my interest, I'm sure the people that watch my videos would love to know about it. So there you guys go. It's up on the screen. I hope you enjoyed. I thought this was kind of interesting. I hope you did too. Have a great afternoon.